all you're looking for is making money,
Yeah.
you can make a lot of money with final expenses.
Sure.
You know, but the way to go right now, to be effective, to be profitable, to have good retention of business, it's IULs and annuities.
Right.
It's crazy.
All right, welcome to True Talk. I got a special guest today, Silvana Pajor-Flores.
You got it
Right?
right.
I got it right. I had to get the Flores in there. You told me what, your mom would be upset?
My mama will chase
Yeah.
you down otherwise.
That's her maiden name?
Yes.
Gotcha. Silvana, you've been with us for a few years now, a long time actually, right? Since 2021?
No,
You were before that.
2015.
15. Why do I only have numbers back to 21? I'm looking at your numbers here, and early on you would finish like around 120,000 a year, right? Last year, 2024, you jumped up to 500,000. Just phenomenal. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, but I really wanted to kind of dig into your background. You got an interesting story. You weren't born here, right?
I was born in Argentina.
Born and raised in Argentina. You were a semi-pro volleyball player?
That's real.
That's awesome. How'd that happen?
I just started having fun with my friends. They
Yeah.
were going to, do sports. I was playing basketball because in my family, pretty much, I have 3 siblings,
Yeah.
3 brothers.
Okay.
The oldest one did soccer.
Yeah.
He got to semi-pro as well. My other 2 brothers were in basketball.
Okay.
And they were closer to my age, so I was playing basketball.
Are you the youngest?
Yes, by
Yes.
10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I would just doing that, but my friends were having fun doing a different sport. So
Yeah.
at around 12, 13, my cousin that was my best friend at the time, just joined her and just wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
So
So that was when you first started playing volleyball.
yeah, I just wanted to have fun with my friends.
Got
and
it.
then I guess all of us had that competitive nature, if
Yeah.
you might. And we have a good coach, a good mentor. Start just training us a little bit harder and harder and harder and start winning games. So
Wow.
the more wins, the harder we would train.
Yeah.
And that just turned out to be
Is volleyball big in Argentina?
fairly big.
Yeah. I mean, is
Yes.
soccer the number
Like-
one sport or?
Soccer's number one, but soccer's for the boys.
Okay.
Volleyball is for the girls.
Got it.
Like the main sports type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, volleyball's a lot of fun. My daughter just started playing last year. She's in middle school. It's funny, she was 12, and there's a middle school team, but it's like a startup. Like the coaches have never played before. They've even said like, hey, we're volunteering. We've never played. They're like learning on TikTok and stuff, but it's been surprisingly a lot of fun to watch. And it's funny you mentioned playing basketball first. My daughter used to love basketball. And now she's like, Dad, I think my favorite sport is volleyball. But it's a lot of fun. It's very competitive, too.
That is, yes. But for as long as she has fun, that good things happen when you're having fun and applying yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's what happened to us. We didn't notice. We were just having fun and winning games.
Your goal wasn't to be semi-pro. Y'all were just...
heck no.
No.
No. It was just to have fun.
Yeah.
With my friends.
Got it. How long did you play?
So it would be
Through college?
5 years. No,
5.
I went to college, but in my family, my dad, like I said, my siblings could have been pros as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But my dad always told us that we can go pro, we can do whatever we want after we got the piece of paper in the wall.
Okay, so
After we
education
get-
came first.
Yes.
Yep.
So he killed it immediately
Got it.
for all 4 of us. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. No. So you went to school. What did you go to school for?
I went for a translation of English in Argentina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you speak English already?
Yes, I've been studying English since I'm 5.
Really?
So all throughout elementary,
Yeah.
so primary school in Argentina, secondary school, I
Yeah.
always had my private lessons. So by the time I finish secondary school, so high school,
Yeah.
give or take, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I have 2 brothers that are lawyers, 1 brother that is an engineer.
Okay. In Argentina?
In Argentina.
Okay.
So in a way, it was a little bit of pressure of, am I going to be the disappointment?
Right, you got to live up to them, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a translator because I didn't want to be my brother's employee, being a lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave me so much, such a headache.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Don't you realize you already have a job? And I look at him, what, being your employee? We're all, hot-headed in my family.
Right.
So I just I didn't want to lose my English or, paying for so many years for the private lessons. So I went into translation thinking I was going to be an interpreter at the UN.
Okay. What happened there?
So I didn't finish college.
Why not?
Because I moved to America.
Yeah.
I started college here as well.
Okay.
And guess what?
Wait, at what point was it always a goal of yours to come here?
Nope.
No?
No, by
So
any
how'd that
means.
happen?
I knew I was going to travel, but at that point I was being taught British English.
Yeah.
So I always thought I was going to be in London.
Oh, okay. So how'd you end up in America?
So I went to college in the second largest city in Argentina, Cordoba.
Yeah.
And one of my friends in college, he was already doing a work and travel program for full-time students, college students. And he told me many times, he was coming here for 2 or 3 years. It's like, you got to go. You got to go. You're more American than you are Argentinian, which he never made sense to me. And also he told me something to the nature of, how can you translate a language that you never spoken in its origins? Like, you never been to England or the U.S. or Australia, how that firsthand experience you cannot buy. You got to do it.
So he sold you.
Absolutely. And then that's how I saw my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why, your dad wasn't for it at first?
He thought it was just a trip for pleasure.
Yeah.
I don't come from a family with money.
Right.
So that was a big ordeal.
Okay.
And then I talked to my mom. It's like, well, Mom, and I told the story that my friend told me.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, my dad sat me down.
Yeah.
When my dad talked, you shut up and listen.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't you tell me it was for educational purposes? If it's for that, we'll make it happen.
Yeah. So they helped you move here?
Oh, yeah. We sold property, actually.
Really?
Like a lot to land.
Wow. What state did you move to?
To New Mexico. Northern
Really?
Taos, New Mexico.
Okay. What attracted you to New Mexico?
My friends were coming there already, so I
okay.
didn't know where I was going.
Got it.
And
you finished school there?
Well, actually, I didn't finish there. So it was a program where you will come for 5-6 months and then go back to Argentina.
Okay.
So, because you got to continue your education in Argentina in order to qualify for that visa, right?
Got it.
You got to be a full-time student in your country of origin, so in Argentina. So I was just, I came to a ski resort in New Mexico.
Really?
That was my job there.
Wait, now I've never been to New Mexico, but it's hot, right?
Well, New Mexico is the high desert, so yeah, if you go down south, it's really hot.
But they're ski resorts.
They're ski resorts.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the steepest ski resorts in America is
Really?
Taos, New Mexico.
And have you ever skied before going there?
Never skied before, but like you said, I was an athlete before coming here, so my body would adjust to
You picked
training.
it up easy.
I picked it up easy.
What was it like? You were in Argentina until 21, right?
21.
And then obviously you spoke English. But coming to this, I mean, the culture is completely different, right? What was it like coming to New Mexico after spending 21 years in Argentina?
It was it was different. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a challenge. Just the entire culture. In Argentina, we don't have dinner until 11 p.m. It doesn't matter if it's Monday. And if it's the weekends, you're not eating dinner until 1 in the morning.
Okay. Why, because y'all are working or what?
No, because it's just,
Just what it is.
Just what it is, And just having to eat dinner at 5 or 6 p.m., that was such a huge shock.
Yeah.
And even though I spoke English, I was speaking the Queen's language, if you mind.
Yes, yeah. It's a lot different.
I thought I was a fraud for like a month. Like, seriously, I didn't understand anything. But it was just an adjustment.
Yeah. How long did it take you to adjust?
Well, the first week I had a headache.
Yeah.
After the first week, it was about 2-3 weeks, a month, and it was just, I got it.
Got it.
Yes.
So what happened with the ski resort?
So I came as an admin position.
Yeah.
And I started, helping the little kids. It was the children's center. I will not deal with adults.
No, they're a pain in the ass.
Yes. So I started, helping, spring break or whatnot, so many kids. So I started going outside and helping the lower levels, just beginners, picking them up from the snow, the ground, and little by little getting on skis myself. Someone took it upon themselves to teach me how to ski.
Okay.
So
you like it though?
I loved it. I loved it. Well, they realized that, my abilities,
right.
So I learned really, really fast. So by the end of the season, I was already teaching low levels.
Yeah.
And so I took it upon myself to actually got licensed and get us, nationally licensed. different levels that you get in skiing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I did that the second year I came back.
Got it. Okay. And before insurance, like what type of jobs were you working? What were you doing?
Well, outside of those trip, right?
Yeah.
That when I moved to America, it was just the typical, immigrant's job that you don't know what possibilities are.
Yeah.
Admin, busser, server.
Whatever you could get.
Anything that you can get.
Yeah. What was the money like compared to what you were making when you were working back home?
I never worked.
You never worked. You were in school all the time. Okay.
In Argentina, well, it's especially in my family. You don't work until you graduate from college, and after college, your parents will still support you for a year or two.
Yeah.
So you can hit the ground running if you might.
Got it.
So you don't. I did have a job for like 4 months.
Yeah.
In a call center.
Okay.
For truck phone wireless.
Really?
Yes.
That's back in the day.
Back in the day. And until my dad knew
Yeah.
I was working 4 hours a day, gave me a phone call and said, "Hey, you're my employee. If you need more money, you give me better grades."
Okay.
And he hung up.
Yeah.
So I had to quit.
So you quit.
I had to.
Yeah.
So I never worked. So.
Got it. What was it like, coming to this new country? You came here for school, right? Did you know that you would have success here?
No.
No.
It was just an experience.
Okay.
School was back home. And we come here to work and then go back to study. So
your plan wasn't to stay here long term?
No. It's just 5 months and then you go back.
Okay.
And then I would do it again. Success, I don't think at that point I had a clear definition what success was, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Success was, hey, what my parents did. My mom retired when I was 5. She was 42. My dad probably would have been 49.
Yeah.
Having enough money to pay the bills.
Got
Forget
it.
about dreams.
Right.
So I don't think I had a clear definition or ever thought about what success really meant to me.
You just trying to get by.
Correct.
Yeah. How'd you end up here full time?
Full time. Well, eventually I moved. I got married.
Yeah.
So I moved to New Mexico full time.
Yeah.
And then is when I stopped working at the ski resort and getting like full time job.
Yeah.
Not just winter jobs.
Right.
How do I ended up in the insurance industry or how?
Yeah. What were you doing right before you got in insurance for work?
Well, from New Mexico, I moved to Colorado and I was looking just for an admin job. You know, I was full time student now with the University of New Mexico.
Yeah.
Student business administration.
So you're still in school.
Which I also didn't finish.
There's a trend here, Silvana.
Well, school was not my thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I was told, again, my dad telling me I needed a piece of paper on the wall.
Right.
So I thought that what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
To have success.
Yeah.
So I was just looking for a job to...
What attracted you to Colorado? Why'd you move
Colorado. The first person I ever met from America was from Colorado.
Yeah.
And the spark in her eyes when she was talking how beautiful Colorado was.
Yeah.
I knew at the age of 15 that I wanted to visit Colorado.
Okay.
And it was so close from New Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
So I moved to Colorado and...
Did you have a job in Colorado at that point, or did you
No,
there
I
looking?
just moved there.
Just moved there.
So I was doing admin work.
Yeah.
Hospital billing was one of them.
Okay.
Funny enough, for Hartford Hospital somewhere here.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I moved from Colorado Springs to Denver.
Yeah.
So I need a new job, and I was looking for an admin job. And one of these companies, insurance companies, there's not totally clear about what they do.
Okay.
They even switch.
So you thought you were applying for an admin job?
Yes, because
And
it was to handle the benefits of union members.
Okay. Got it.
So, and it was like an admin position,
Yeah.
the description. So
What'd you do? You saw an ad online and
it was
Yeah.
back then it was Craigslist.
Craigslist. Oh yeah,
Yes.
good old Craigslist. And then what they called you? What they say?
Call me, do a pre-interview.
Yeah.
Great, I want to meet you. Come over.
This whole time you're thinking you're
an
applying for an admin
admin.
job.
I'm gonna be in a desk.
Got it. You went in for an interview?
I went for an interview.
Yeah.
I was just too cheery. It's like, I never met someone they're so happy to like conduct an interview.
Right,
like,
yeah.
It was weird.
It's painful usually.
Right?
We have 30 staff, interview tons of people, and it's
Right?
like, God, another one?
What are your strengths?
Yeah,
your
not you guys that we hired, but all the other ones. Not you, Kate, Sam. No, y'all are great, but all the other ones, Silvana. But yeah, so they're excited to see you.
Yes.
They're happy.
Yeah.
You thought it was
And then
weird.
it was a cattle call.
Yeah.
I have a one-on-one interview, and immediately they put me on a group overview. And I still don't know how.
Yeah.
Well, they're teaching me the history of the company.
Right.
That means I could be higher. How many admins do you need? There are 30 people in this. I still
like
don't know.
something right here.
Immediately after that, it's like, oh, you stayed, so we have a third and last interview. So it's like, wait, I came here for like an interview, half an hour. There's 4, and I'm still here. I'm doing great.
Right. I got the job.
So they hire me. I still didn't know it was for a sales position, selling life
When the hell
insurance.
they tell you it was for sales?
Man, I paid for my study material. I studied for 2 weeks. I trained in someone else's car for 2 weeks, and I still didn't know what my job was. Swear. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what's my job? How it's like, they're so thorough about training. I thought that was going to be essential for me to work behind a desk.
Right. So this ended up being a full commission life insurance.
Full
sales.
commission life insurance captive company that they put me at a really low comp.
What was your comp?
45%.
Jesus.
Which is higher than other IMOs.
Yeah, that's true. That's the sad part. There's some that are lower.
To be fair.
Yeah.
So it was 45%, and I was working 80 hours, 80 hours a week.
And your client fill out leads, cold calling?
The unions, it was kind of, I don't know. Ethically, I don't agree. Morally, I don't agree with a lot of the things that they do. I feel my personal opinion is a little bit of bait and switch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we won't name them, but we know their deal. Hey, we're with the union. We're going to help you out union benefits.
Yeah,
and hey, by the way, you want to buy life insurance?
Right? Yeah. So they think it's a union coming over. And
got it.
So I stayed there for a year and a half about.
You make any money there?
Well, I'm so lucky. I was one of the most stable ones.
Really?
I was making $1,000 a week.
Really?
Yes.
How much work were you putting in?
75, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
Stressing over everything. I was working every single day, half a day on Sunday, just on sales. It's that there's no growth.
Yeah.
The premium is so low. Persistency is so bad.
Well, like what was the average size policy you'd sell?
The biggest policy I think I sold was $110.
That's the biggest.
Yes.
What were most of them? 30, 40 bucks?
The final expenses, like 25, begging for $25.
Okay.
So average it was $40.
So you're making like $100 a policy, maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of work to make a.
I'm trying not to remember too much.
I'm bringing up painful.
Days,
Yeah.
Right? Now they taught me how to dial though.
Okay.
And
you were calling actual leads, or?
Well, we were calling 10-year-old leads.
Okay.
The new,
So they had no idea what you were calling.
How many
about.
unions do you have nowadays that have new members?
Right.
So let's go by the demographics. You don't have many new leads.
Got
so
it.
10-year-old leads in clients that were on the books that they get calls. With that company, the clients are the companies. They're not your book of business.
Right.
So I was calling so many clients that get a phone call every six months, if not more often.
So you dealt with a lot of rejection.
A lot of it.
A lot of rebuttal.
A lot of it.
But at the time, making about $1,000 a week, how did that compare to your past jobs? Was that about on par? Was this better?
It was better.
It was better.
It was better.
So you're making more money, but
not hourly. Not hourly. If you
Right.
were to break it down by how many hours I was working, I was not making more money.
You could have had two
Yes.
jobs and made more.
Yes.
Got it. So is that why you left? Like, did you get tired of it?
I
or?
just got tired of working so much, not being given
Were
my.
you raising a family? You said you were married. Did you have kids?
No, we didn't have kids.
Okay.
We got divorced at that point already.
At that point.
Yes. One of the reasons I left New Mexico was for that.
Okay. So you're on your own trying to figure it out, and then year and a half goes by.
Year and a half. Well, yes, it was just, people were getting promotions, which meant a higher comp based on buddy system.
But you were one of the top producers.
I was.
And you didn't get a
one of the
promotion.
most consistent producers.
And you were at 45 the whole time?
Yes, I got, eventually by default they gave me the promotion because I presented such a good argument.
Mm-hmm.
But they're giving promotion to people with bad morals, bad ethics. Writing fake business.
Got it.
So just started getting.
You saw the writing on the wall, like
getting annoyed. Just the harassment based on gender.
Yeah.
I mean, not to go. It was not equal. Okay. It was not equal. And there were people that sold 10 years before I was there telling me what to do.
Yeah.
When I knew demographics change, it was different.
Right.
Whatever you're telling me doesn't work right now.
Correct.
So
I love about, like, you know, Sean's mentality here is you're not going to train unless you're doing what you're talking about right now. I mean, you were at the convention, right? 130-something people training, all people that are out there doing it today.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, that gives you the right to learn from people that, you know, that makes you feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
That you're in good hands.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I'll be fully transparent. The whole reason we asked you to come up, we're looking at your numbers. We're like, oh, shit, Silvana did $500K last year. We got to get her up. Like, I've known you for years. So, like, hey, she's kicking ass. Let's get her up, talk about what she's doing. So a year and a half goes by. How did you started looking for another place to go? Like, how'd you end up here?
So everyone that left the company at that point, that particular company, they knew I was leaving.
Okay.
So they were setting up interviews with their companies, you know.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I started interviewing with IMOs, just different companies that were not on my radar.
Got it. But you were looking to stay in insurance.
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
Because, I mean, I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working a lot, but on my own terms.
Yeah.
If I work
so you like that freedom.
I love that freedom.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I don't work. It means that sometimes I work double.
Yeah.
I might be working still the same 80 hours, but in order to prepare for next week to take a week vacation or a month vacation, you know? So, yeah, I did like the not having a ceiling on my income.
Right.
You know, eat what you kill.
Yeah.
Just, you know, that was valuable to me for self-worth.
Yeah.
You know?
What'd your dad think at this point? Because this is the opposite of what.
I don't think he knew ever.
He didn't know.
For as long as I was doing okay and just being happy, I think he was okay.
He was fine.
I mean, it was kind of a blurry time, but my dad is long gone at this point.
Okay. I
don't know what year. I mean, putting one and one together.
Yeah.
I think he might have been gone at that point when I'm doing sales.
Got it. Okay.
So, I've interviewed with a whole bunch of places until one person.
Did you know what you were looking for, or you were just trying to check out what was out there?
Something better, though. You know, something better than where I was.
Got it.
I didn't know what was out there.
How many companies do you think you interviewed with?
13.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captive, non-captive, you know.
Got it.
13 until one person that was in the previous company, the person that I would never trust, you know, like if he says good morning, I will go and check. That kind of person.
All right, so this guy, you didn't trust him.
The guy that I didn't trust by any means was like, hey, you need to talk to my manager. Just come and join us.
And he was here with us already.
He was already with Family First Life. Something I never heard about, Family First Life. Who calls the company Family First Life? I was like, I don't know, you know, Family First, whatever. So I told him, well, get your manager to call me. Yeah. Because I knew what I was capable of doing. So I was not going to give myself, you know, just go and exchange money for my time. It's like, what else? I mean, I'm really good at what I do. I'm willing to put the hours and the effort, and I'm coachable, and you know. So at that point, I was interviewing the companies. They were not interviewing me.
Right.
So eventually, he bothered me so many times that I said, okay, get her to call me.
Yeah.
And she called me.
And then you joined. And
then, we had coffee, and she showed me the leads.
Yeah.
At that point, she was doing mortgage protection.
Okay.
And it was such a pleasant conversation and coffee place. And Linda showed me one of her leads. Yeah. Told me, these guys speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. So, you know, would you call them, book an appointment? Would you be my translator?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at a huge piece of paper that says, hey, give me more information on life insurance to pay my mortgage in the event of my death.
Right.
It says life insurance on the thing.
You've never seen that prior to this. Oh, my God.
And a person wrote their name, not the name, the date of birth and phone number to be called. I was confused. What?
You're like, where do you get these?
I know. And it's like, she told me it's like to call. I mean, she didn't tell me call it right now. But if you call it, book an appointment. So I grabbed my phone, dial. And he picked up.
You called right there.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to know if that was true.
You want to make sure she wasn't full of shit, yeah.
Right? And he picked up, and I didn't have a script. I didn't know. I said mortgage protection. So I say, hey, Jose, Silvana here. all in Spanish, of course.
Yeah.
Silvana here, I have this paper that you filled out. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I have this paper in my hand that you bought a house and you want to protect it in the event of, so I read the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want more information to protect your mortgage in the event of your death? Oh, yeah. I was waiting for someone to call me. And I just turned.
What'd you think of that?
I
moment?
lost it. I was like, what's happening right now? So is your address 123 Main Street, whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, I was making phone calls, so I knew I needed to ask, hey, are you married or a decision maker in the family?
Right.
So what time you get off? I booked the appointment. Next day, we go with Linda.
So she went with you.
Well, it was her appointment. I was not contracted.
Got it.
We just met yesterday. For the first time I hear Family First Life, I called the lead on the spot and go to the appointment the next day. And within 45 minutes, Linda Ponce, she's such a closer.
Yeah,
she's a
great.
Killer.
Yep.
Within 45 minutes, we're walking out of there with an application for $168.17.
Yeah.
No exaggeration, that $168.17.
Remember that number?
45 minutes.
Wow.
And she didn't show any videos on her computer.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And
you're
he
used
was
to like a
happy.
whole presentation, right?
2-hour presentation.
2 hours. For real.
And who's next? And who do you know?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And who's next? Oh, my God, yeah. So I would, 45 minutes,
Yeah.
a check for $168.
Were you just like in shock?
I just, this is not real.
Yeah.
This is not real. And then little by little, it's like, well, yeah, it is real because he filled out a form. They did. What's happening?
Right.
It's just, where do I sign? Where's the
How
dotted
quick did you
line?
get contracted after that?
Where's the dotted line?
How was that transition for you? Because it's one appointment, right? Now you're obviously everyone you sit down with, you don't help. There's, but how was that transition to going from selling the way you did before, and then once you got leads and contracted with us?
Let's be clear about one thing. Certain companies, or the one that I was with, they were not asking for life insurance.
Right.
In this one, the piece of paper they received, it says, give me more. At least they're asking for information about life insurance. Let's not mistake this. They asked for this.
Right.
I just go and present what they might qualify for, what could be the best thing for them, and that's it. There's no, it's heaven. It's an order taken.
Right.
There's no sales involved here.
So you're saying you picked it up quick?
Oh my God! It was just like, okay, you have a home, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
If you were to die within the 30 years that you have a mortgage, you want to protect it, yes or no? Obviously, you do want to protect it because you fill out this form and ask me to call you.
Right.
So based on your age, based on your gender, based on your health, we have these 3 options. Which one works best for you? Or if you don't want to buy it, why do you fill it out? I'm kind of confused.
Right.
If you don't want to protect your family, why do you fill out that piece of paper?
Right.
Plus, I was trained by one of the best in the industry, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you make your first year?
I don't remember.
Don't remember?
I do remember qualifying number 100 for the top producer dinner the following year.
So you were number 100.
Number 100.
So you must have sold a couple $100,000 at least at that point.
It was over 100,
Yeah.
but I don't remember.
It was a different day with FFL.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you've been here since just about the beginning.
It was the second convention ever with FFL. It was my first convention back in Atlanta.
Crazy how much we've changed since then.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Like now, what you sold then now wouldn't even get you on the leaderboard.
Well, in the Spanish convention this year, in in Texas, it was bigger than the first the convention for the entire company in Atlanta. That second convention, I don't.
How cool is that to see for someone who came here
crazy.
from Argentina? You were a translator, and now to see that presence here at a company you started with almost 10 years ago.
Not only the growth for the English portion of it naturally, but just to see a whole, dedicated space to the Hispanic community.
Right.
That there are a lot of people that want to go to work and they don't speak English. How do we train them?
Yeah.
Just to see a whole convention and just the energy that those people have.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
They almost have more energy than the room of 4,000 people. I mean, that...
We do it on purpose.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, I've married into Spanish culture, so I get it,
Good food, and it's really loud.
Absolutely, yeah. A little too good food sometimes. But it's cool to see. And it's like, this goes back to our mentality as a company. When our clients are all middle American families. They are, as it pertains to insurance, a percentage of the demographic that is typically ignored. Right? You worked at these other companies. They're looking for union members. A lot of them are just looking for the guys with the most money. Same thing with the Hispanic demographic. Insurance companies typically ignore them. Why? Because you have to speak Spanish, right? Can't help them if I don't speak Spanish. Or there's other companies that try to take advantage of that demographic. And I love what we're doing on that front and love seeing it grow year after year.
Not only that, it's like I see that they're misunderstood a little bit. As you know, what I have heard over so many years, they just think that just because you're doing this hands-on job, either refineries or construction, just because you're not on a suit, they don't have money.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Not only they have a lot of money, they don't trust the banks.
Correct.
They want to they love, how big is family in Hispanic culture?
Oh my God.
So do you think they want to leave something behind when they're gone?
Absolutely.
So believe me, so they not only they do, not everyone, but they do. They don't trust the bank. So they have hundreds and thousands of dollars under the mattress.
Yep.
How many Hispanics you know that go and buy an Escalade cash?
Right.
Come on. They need us too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I love seeing that. Now we talked about this early on in the podcast. You've increased your production dramatically over the past year. Like I was looking a few years prior to that. You're 100K, right?
About 2 to 5.
About 2 some years, and then 24 you jumped to 500K. How? What happened?
Oh, I owe it to Juan.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being in the right environment, someone picking up the phone for you, and just empower. Like what I told you before.
Yeah.
He just gave me wings.
Yeah.
I needed to fly, but
right.
he gave me wings.
You had to put the work in.
Yeah.
He guided you.
He trusted me from day one.
Yeah.
And if I needed to talk, he's not patient. We all know that.
No.
You keep one for 2 minutes on the phone. That's a long time.
Yes. Yep.
But that first conversation, we were for over an hour on the phone.
Okay.
Because I have my concerns.
Yeah.
And I needed to, before we go into this together, I needed to hear me.
Yeah.
And actually, I was heard and I was empowered and I was given trust and recognition. Not recognition, just a pat in the back. It just, what it was important to me is like, thank you for helping me. Mm-hmm. Just for someone to see that I was trying to help and not just trying agent, just like, hey, run the live dials or stuff like that. So he just made me feel free and useful, not to him, but his whole organization. So it's a small family.
Got it. He's great. I love Juan. And what he does is completely different from what you were doing, right? You were final expense mortgage for years. I mean, almost 10 years. And then Juan's been this IUL machine. So how is it to, move away from that, get into IULs, also selling them virtual telesales. You're not in the, it's complete. It's like you started a new career in 24, right? Like,
well, in all reality, this is what happened, how I met Juan. He flew from Houston to Denver, where we had an office, to train one agent. And he was in the bullpen, right? And my office door was right there. And I'm loud, so through the door, he can hear me.
Yeah.
So he heard me dialing. I was already doing some. One second. I was already doing Zoom. I was doing hybrid. My mortgage protection, et cetera, hybrid. So he heard me dialing, and he told the kid, I didn't hear this. He ended up telling me this. Listen how she calls. Look at that. Listen to the posture, whatever. Mm-hmm. Then he saw me do a Zoom appointment, mortgage protection. Yeah. It's like, who's this lady? Why, so it's not being aggressive, it's being assertive. Yeah. Right? So
you guys didn't really know each other prior to this?
No.
This agent was his agent working out of your office?
His agent, and this is a long time ago, he started with us, 21?
I think so, yeah.
21, so it was in 2021.
Got it.
And I don't know, maybe he was talking to Zach Tarowski, to Twad or to Easton, and asked questions about annuities. Right? He had a client, I knew something. Mm-hmm. And everyone in that office told him, hey, if you want to talk annuities, you got to talk to Silvana. Yeah. And he just knocked on my door. We started talking in Spanish, because then is when he learned I was from Argentina. Yeah. So this is his story to tell, but pretty much it's like I helped him so much with that annuity. Yeah. That we stayed in contact. And whenever he had an overflow of IUL leads, he will send them my way. Okay. So we kind of were working, not in the same team.
Yeah.
But we kind of were working together.
Got it.
So, but I already knew the advanced market. It's my favorite part of the business.
Yeah, because you used to write a ton of annuities.
I do.
Or still do, but you did.
I love annuities.
Yeah.
I love this part of the business.
Did you write IULs back in the day or no?
Well, we all started with not all. I started with the IULE. That was the first taste of, IULs. And then I was always reading, Sean Rogero, my mentor. I love that guy.
Yeah.
So I will rent his ears out, That's why we're talking. And he was so good at getting back to me.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to read more, know more, find my own opportunities.
Yeah.
So yes, not IUL so much as annuities, but now it's my 100% my practice.
Is IULs.
Yeah.
100%.
IULs and annuities.
Yeah. Is that why you did $500K?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, bigger premiums, right?
Bigger premium. They stay on the books.
They stay on the books.
Persistence is crazy.
I know.
Let's go to the basic. When you sell final expense mortgage protection, we're talking about death, right? And I've done it for 10 years or 8 years. At the end of the day, when I'm done working, I don't want to talk to anyone, right? Persistency on those products is 70% on final expense, 80% on mortgage protection. So 80% is good. Walmart accounts for 20% extra when they're buying stuff,
right?
Because they're gonna either lose it because it expires, it gets broken,
Someone's
stolen,
steal it,
right?
Yeah.
So 20% of lost business is good if Walmart is profitable.
Right.
So, but then with IULs, just in the what you call it? I'm thinking Spanish. In the industry, so in the industry, it's 90%.
Yeah.
Right? And if you do good business, my persistency is 95%. So you get higher premium, you get more in the books, and then our conversation is just how much money you want in the future. It's like being a realtor showing a home to someone. Like, come on.
Right.
It's all happiness.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not talking death anymore. Oh, by the way, when you die, because you will die, you're leaving this much for your family to take care of them.
Yeah.
So.
It's like with, mortgage and final, the death benefit's the main thing you're selling, right? You die, obviously there's other bells and whistles, disability, this and that, but it's death. With IUL, that's almost an added benefit on top of all the other benefits, So from a work standpoint, did you put in more hours or
I'm working less.
You're working less, making more.
I'm working less, making more.
Wow.
I spend now I have a lot, more time to create content, to put the information out to the public.
So you're doing videos on social media?
Yes, videos.
Creating your own leads?
No. I don't trust myself that much quite yet.
Not there yet.
That is the basic, the most important thing in the business. So I don't want to go that far.
Got it.
I want to learn, but hey, I am here to sell life insurance and help people with their retirement, help them not lose any more money.
Got it.
I don't want to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
So I just keep buying leads. It's the best way to find clients.
Yeah. So what are you doing with your content on social media? Where you
educational, giving, making sure that I have, I share my Instagram with all my clients.
Yeah.
Some of them are just for the sake of having more followers, just kind of creating organic.
Yeah.
Followers and organic clients.
You must get some clients through that, right?
Yes. So I make everyone follow me, all my clients, and I tell them all, it's like, hey, I know you're going to talk about this with your friends. I want your friends to be taken care of, but get them to see some of the videos that I'm making so they have certain answers to their questions, and mainly because you need to be working with someone that knows what they're doing. Do you believe that every mechanic is a good mechanic?
Nope.
Correct. So agents are the same way.
Right.
That's why I'm helping you today the way that I did.
Yeah.
So get them to feel comfortable with me, and when they're ready to change their life, I'm here to help them too.
Yeah. Love it. Well, you can kick an ass, Silvana.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're doing great. It's awesome to see, especially knowing you were here from like back in the day. But it's something I've learned in this business is business evolves, and if you don't change with it, you will die.
Yeah, that's essential.
How you're not going to join us now and sell all mortgage protection or final expense. It's not going to happen.
No.
Well, I want to. IULs are the way of the future.
They are. Of course, there will be, as America is right now with the mortgage rates being so high, people will continue to die. So more, final expense.
It's always
going
to be there. Yeah.
But if you want to be profitable, if you want to, you you got to evolve with the business.
Right.
You got to find yourself what your heart and soul is. You can make a lot of money. If all you're looking for is making money, you can make a lot of money with final expenses.
Sure.
You know, but the way to go right now, to be effective, to be profitable, to have good retention of business, it's IULs and annuities.
Right.
It's crazy.
And doing right by your client, like, don't you feel better if you can sell them an IUL versus a mortgage because of all the added benefits?
No, both of them are necessary. Okay. One is not better than the other. It's just based on what the client's needs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, they are filling out a form for me to help them with IULs. But if there is a mortgage, I know everything about my client, everything. I train my agents. It's like, I want you to know your client as much as you know yourself. Mm-hmm. So you can do that IUL like if you were doing it for yourself. Right. Right? So not just who's the beneficiary and how much money you want to save. Yeah. It's like, why? Why are we doing this? I don't sell anything. Right. The clients got to sell me. Whoever filled out a form, they got to sell me on it. Because I'm putting my name and my signature to the dotted line that I'm going to be your agent. Yeah. Right? So if you're not being serious, if I say it's not going to be a good fit for you, an IUL, we're not doing an IUL. Yeah. You know? Unfortunately, there are times that when people are slightly bit older or are not putting enough money, it's like, I love you. I would love to do this. Or when people are sick and want to use their kids, you know, this guy just wants to pay for 6 years and then use all that money. No, you're going to create a huge tax liability for your daughter. We're not doing, no. Yeah. You know, so we transitioned the conversation into an annuity, actually. Yeah. And he was set on IULs. It's like, I can find you another age. I'm not doing it. Right. It's not good for you, for your daughter. I'm not doing it. I love you. Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm rooting for you. Not doing it.
Have you always been good with people and direct with people like you are now, or is that something
I'm always been like that, but I think the other person that kind of let me be that direct is Sean. Yeah. You know, it's like, can I be honest with you today? Right. Okay, once I say yes, I'm going to be honest. Can I talk to you like I'm talking to my brother, like I'm talking to my mom? Yeah. And then it's coming on. And let me explain why I'm asking that question. Because when my mom tells me something dumb, I'm going to tell her she's being dumb. Right. And I don't want to be disrespectful with you. Yeah. So not that I'm going to call you dumb, but if you were to say something that is not making sense, we're going to talk it through and I'm going to tell you that doesn't make sense and it's a silly idea. Is that fair? Yeah. So once you have that agreement and once you tell the client no, because salespeople, all they want to say is yes, right. For as long as you buy from me. Yeah. Oh, I'm saying no to them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what you'll learn too when you start being direct with people is they'll appreciate it. Everyone thinks like, oh, if I'm too direct, they're going to be upset. Most people can take it.
There are ways of being direct. Of course, you're not going to go to a sweet old lady and it's like, oh, man.
Exactly.
But, you know, being direct, being honest, being straight to the point, not just being a salesperson. Right. Just I tell them, it's like, I'm going to talk to you like I'm talking to my mom. Mm-hmm. And my mom is the most important thing on this. Oh, my God. Yeah. My mom is important. Right? So I talk to them like I'm talking to my mom. Yeah. I will not want anyone to go and do whatever they want just because they need money to sell my mom something she doesn't need. The person I'm talking is someone else's mom. So let me give you the respect that I expect my mom to have. You know, just common courtesy.
And they appreciate that at the end of the day, people being direct. Like, my wife hates going to the cell phone store with me because, you know, they try to sell you, right? Yeah. And I go in, you know, kid needs a new phone or something. And they start with the, you know, do you use your hotspot? Do you have So my new technique is this. Before they even get going, I go, hey, Silvana, here's the deal. This is what I'm going to buy today. A phone and a charger and a case. That's it. I don't need any of those stuff. I know you're supposed to try to sell me. You're not going to. I don't need it, don't want it. But if we just shoot each other straight, it'll be a lot better. So no offense. Don't give me your sales pitch. Phone, charger, case, unless you screw that up. And you know what happens? They're fine. They go, okay, cool. What phone do you want? Now, I know it's their job to try to sell me shit, but I'm direct with them. They don't get all upset. They don't kick me out of the store. They just go, okay, cool, here's the phone, here's the case. But it's just being direct with people, and I think it's like it's your own. You're uncomfortable doing it, so you shy away. and you blame it on the person, right? I don't want to do that, Silvana. They're going to get upset. No, it's you that's uncomfortable doing it.
If agents are uncomfortable being direct and saying no to client, it's because they're positioning themselves before the client.
Correct.
And that's the selfish.
Absolutely.
I love you. The client comes first. So if you're not willing to tell your mom that she's going to make a mistake,
right,
you're being selfish.
Absolutely.
And we're in this business for people. And in return, we get paid handsomely.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. Do you think if you're not an outgoing person, not an extrovert, you can be successful in sales?
100%.
Yeah.
Again, this is not sales. This is order taking.
Correct.
If someone is looking for something and they took the time to fill out a form, again, not everyone's going to buy. Not everyone's going to pick up the phone. Not everyone is going to qualify.
Right.
But if someone's looking for something, you just call them and it's like, okay, let's meet up and let's see what can we do for you. You don't have to be cheery and like, whoa,
right.
No. It's not that anyone can do it because sales is not for everyone.
No.
But I think whoever's looking to make a change in their personal life by helping other people, I haven't seen anything better than this industry, especially with this company, because I've been in the industry with other companies. I haven't seen anything better.
Right. And you interviewed with 13, so.
I still track them. I remember, this is funny, I remember I had a crush on one of my interviewees.
Oh, God.
With the guy I interview with, right? And I remember he posted or shared a picture with a ring, and he was number 4 in the whole company.
Yeah.
By selling 114,000 in an entire year.
Oh my God!
And I just from that time on, it's like they had no leads, no nothing. Just like what?
Right, and that's no money, and it's not like you said. Money isn't everything.
No,
you're protecting families, and that's a byproduct. But hey, bills come in. Let's not act like you don't need money to survive in this country. It's a capitalistic society. You have to have money coming in consistently.
Yep.
And the more you have, the better you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
So you're putting in less hours now at a higher compensation. Like that dude probably put in more hours to make that 100,000 than you did making selling 500.
I'm putting less hours in selling, if you might, or in my Zooms or whatnot. I'm just being more effective. I'm working as much,
right?
But I'm just developing other areas of my brain, my butt, my team.
You do a lot of personal development.
Yes.
I guess like your mindset, which I think is everything in this business.
Yeah.
The way you think about the clients, like that's one of the hardest things to teach to new agents, because especially if they haven't been in these other companies and they don't appreciate the leads now, right? It's like, I mean, you come here from another country, probably look at some of us like, you guys are just pissing this country. Like the opportunity we have here versus some other countries, right?
Yeah.
And people that are born, they look for every reason why they can't do shit. You're like, dude, people are dying to come over here.
Yeah.
And it's almost the same thing in this industry where what we have, these leads where people actually ask for something. There's people at these other companies that would kill to have something like that.
Or go and knock on doors, or go and friends and family. I have friends that want me to help them out or want to buy from me, but the way they frame it, it's like, no. Or they want me to do it while we're having a barbecue. No, get your name on my calendar.
Right.
Today I'm your friend. I'm not an agent.
Exactly.
I don't work with friends and family.
Right.
If they need something, they know what I do. Put your name on my calendar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's mindset, like you mentioned. It's like, yeah, of course I evolved. Mm-hmm. It was necessary for me to. I've been with FFL for a hot minute.
Yeah.
The numbers will tell you my evolution,
right?
If you might, right?
Yep.
I was not okay with my own self in my head.
Okay.
It was not only just the external factors.
Yeah.
You need to want more. Because again, it's so easy to say, if so and so can do it, so can I. Yeah. But you need to be real with yourself. It's like, well, what someone else had to do, not just go and sell a lot, right? But what was the process behind closed doors to get there? Yeah. So when I meet someone that is doing great, it's like, I don't care how many sales or how many appointments you have a day. What time do you wake up? What's the first thing you do? I want to know if they do affirmation, if they're reading a book.
Yeah. What
time they go to the gym? Is it in the morning or is it at night? And if you go at night, why?
Yeah.
What books do you read? What time you take your lunch? What do you eat for lunch?
Yeah.
What are you feeding your body pretty much? Because the rest is like call leads, book appointments.
Right.
It's like
it's
duh.
simple. Yeah.
But
it's simple.
what are the variables in the business that make people go up or stay there or never make it? And like you say, like a lot of people in America are just complaining. I chose to look at the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, okay, the situation, it is what it is. I cannot change yesterday.
Correct.
What can I do today for tomorrow to be better?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what is in my power? I'll do it. If it's not in my power, well, screw it. I'm just going to turn around and keep doing what I can do to better myself.
Focus on what you can control. What are some of your favorite books that you've read?
My goodness. The Power of Zero, David McKnight.
Okay.
That's, of course, business oriented.
Yeah.
How to influence people.
Yeah.
You know, how to make friends and influence people.
Oh, yeah, Carnegie. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's a great
You got to
one.
read that 100 million times.
Yep.
Right now, on the plane, I started with Tim Grover. What's the name? And it's not Unstoppable.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the
Dave
name.
Anderson. Oh, my God. You got to read Dave Anderson.
Dave Anderson's great.
Tim Grover's, these... it's my audiobooks, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There is one book that was given to me by Harold. Actually, that is I think that's the one that opened the door for a change in mentality.
Okay.
It's The Big Leap.
Yep.
By Gay Hendricks, I believe it is. And it just talks about how it's okay to build yourself up and be good at many areas of life, not just be a good, I don't know, business person and then you go and mess it up at home or whatever. And it just gives you permission to be good and feel good at the result of your own efforts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I tell my agents right now, it's like, you don't have to love the work.
Right.
You got to be addicted.
Correct.
To the result that you get out of it, though, you know. So which is a process, just feeding good energy in my brain and reading the same book over and over and over and over again to make it my second nature. You know, I have books for business and just for myself. Yeah, you know, there are a lot of them. Right. Rick Pitino, the 1 Day Contract. Yeah, it's pretty cool too.
Awesome. How much you make last year?
A lot more than the previous one.
You don't want to tell me?
A lot.
Enough.
More than I expected.
Okay. More than you expected, really.
Less than next year.
Yeah?
Less than this year, actually.
What's your why? What drives you?
Man, once the bills are paid, this is the thing that I want people to understand. It's like, yeah, you go and get a job, or if you're starting with us, with FFL, this is the first best decision you made today. Of course, we go for the bills to have the money. It's not for the jets and the Lambos. It's not, we're going to pay our bills.
Right.
But once you get that peace of mind that your basics are covered, you start looking at outside. You know, it's like, who's near you that needs help? 8 out of 10 problems will be fixed with money. Right. And some of those problems will change the core of who you are. Now, I mean, I lost my brother 4 years ago to cancer unexpectedly. Behind, he left 3 kids. Their mom has mental issues, bipolar schizophrenic, so she's not really in the picture. She can't. It's not that she doesn't want to.
Right.
You cannot blame her. So my godson, he was over the age of 20 already. And remember, in Argentina, until you graduate from school, you never work a day in life. Yeah. So the other 2 girls, they were minors. Without a mom and a dad. Wow. My mom is 80 years of age, so she's taking care of the kiddo. Yeah. So last year I had I was fortunate enough just to bring her here for 6 months as a tourist. Oh wow. You know. Yeah. Just for her to know what I do, not for her to do what I do. Right. But see just my hustle, see my hustle, just to give her an opportunity. Yeah. I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I will in a second. But she saw not a light at the end of the tunnel. It was Vegas. Yeah. Lights, just building her up, coaching her in life. Just money can do that, man. I love you. But if you're broke.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't.
Right.
Then my social media manager, it's my other niece. I can pay my bills. I can go and buy a really nice car. But you know what? And I'm helping young ladies. Yeah. be their own boss. Just live for themselves and not go and find a man to take care of them or go and be a victim of life. I'm giving them tool for them to go to work.
Yeah.
Pretty much what Juan did for me. I already was doing the job.
Right.
But he gave me the tools, to become better.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, great job. Yeah, I mean to get you all emotional, but no, it's awesome to see. And to your point, you can't do that unless you have money. Yep. Money isn't everything. Money doesn't make you happy, but it does solve problems.
Oh, man. It doesn't make you happy, but buys you things that makes you happy.
Right.
Buys you, I don't know, like a plane ticket to see my mom, like I did. Buys you a great medical treatment that maybe will save your kid's life.
Absolutely.
Without money, you're not doing that.
No.
So money does make you happy for as long as you know how to use it,
The guy said this years ago at a conference. It's like, they say money don't make you happy. I've never seen anyone upset on a jet ski.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah.
True.
Or at the ski slopes, right? They're not upset. So,
right.
But it's what you can do with it, what you choose to do with it, and you're impacting those girls' lives.
Yeah, if you impact people,
yeah,
money bought that,
Absolutely.
To impact people the way that we can. What we do with the Dream Center, it's not just my family.
Right.
What we do as a whole.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know there are agents within Family First Life. There are sponsor families.
Mm-hmm.
Because you they're not their family. They're just a random child that's doing good in school and they don't have money to buy shoes.
Right.
Not only sponsoring the child, but also the family so they have good meal. Like, come on, man.
Right.
Isn't that happiness?
Absolutely.
So money's the vehicle together.
It is, 100%. Last thing, Silvana, we're going to wrap up. I got a segment called True or False. I'm going to throw some statements at you. Yeah, well, wait till you hear them, though. And you're going to let me know if they're true or false, okay? Are you ready?
No, but let's do it.
All right. Number 1, success in insurance is purely based on luck.
Absolutely false.
Okay. You need to be an extrovert to be good at sales.
Not true.
Cold calling is no longer an effective way to book appointments.
Cold calling is not an effective way.
Yeah.
I never cold call, so I'm going to tell you what that is. I don't talk about things I don't do.
Okay, I appreciate that. Social media is essential for growing your business.
Yes, true.
Selling life insurance is about numbers, not relationships.
Not true.
Not true. You should only sell policies to people you know.
If you want to be broke
yeah.
and be stressed.
And then last but not least, 45% is great comp in insurance.
I mean, if you had 35, then 45 is good. But you know what's better?
What?
100.
100, which you can start at if you join Family First Life.
If you have a team, we'll take care of you guys.
Absolutely.
Everyone that is out there, if you have a calculator,
Yep. So remember before we got on, you were telling me about you received a call number or access code that you weren't supposed to have back in the day, and you got on some calls, right?
You got to put it in context, so people understand. Before having social media, before having...
Somehow you got this access code to a leader's call that Sean
would do. A leader's call,
yes.
with Sean,
And you were like, shit, I'm getting in on this.
All of them.
Hey, which if Sean was listening, he'd love that because that's you're trying to get an edge, trying to get an advantage.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I wanted to know what they were talking. What's the secret behind, the secret sauce?
So the reason I bring that up in about the comp, we had a similar situation. We had gotten call information from another company, right? This is when we were first starting. And when we started this company, everyone hated the fact that we had high comp. They said, y'all are going to go out of business. You're not going to make no money, blah, all this nonsense. Then we introduced the bonus, like, oh, you guys aren't going to last a year. And here we are, 11, 12 years later, right? So we're listening to this call recording of another company basically trying to tell their agents not to join us. And they said, here's the thing about 100% comp. You're not professionally ready to be at 100% comp. Like, what the huh?
How selfish.
How does that make any sense? Exactly.
What a disgrace to every hardworking person in America.
Yeah. You're not professionally ready to get paid more for your efforts, by the way.
You're not ready to go and pay your bills at the rate that I'm paying them.
Correct.
So go and work hard so I can buy a brand new Lambo.
No, Sean's thing was, hey, we're going to give out high comp. We're not going to have massive spreads. That means you're going to have to keep working your ass off to make money, too. You can't just keep everyone down here and make all this spread and live fat and happy while they're broke. It's not fun when you're running a team and the people that are underneath you are broke.
Well, if you care for them, it's not fun.
Right, if you care.
If you care. It's just so across the board. It's just sad, man.
Yeah.
it's so sad just to see people that haven't done the work for 10 years telling you what to do and, you know, making more money than me, that I went out and drove to someone's house and sold it.
You're doing the work.
You're making more money. Like, it doesn't make sense. So
that was what we founded this company on. The producer does most of the work, so the producer should keep most of the money. Right? We create this platform. There's, you know, processes, things. There's overrides that should go up top.
Yeah.
But you also keep most of the money.
That's the right way to do
absolutely
business.
Well, it seems to be working for us. So
that's right.
Yeah.
And we're
so
keeping
far.
a lot of people too. The turnover is now huge. So
right. Absolutely. Well, Silvana, I appreciate you coming up doing this. I really do. It wasn't as bad as you thought, huh?
No.
Are you so nervous?
Holy man.
Yep, but no, this was great. Guys, go to flconvention.com. Register now. Tickets are available. We have VIP premier seating. We had an awesome lineup for speakers we're working on. I want to be able to tell you, I can't yet because the ink's not dry yet. But we're working on another great event. You were at this past one.
Yes, it was.
I mean,
amazing.
we're gonna need a bigger room for the Spanish convention this year.
We're gonna surpass all the English one. We're gonna surpass.
I can't
At least
wait.
we're gonna be louder.
Yes.
We already are.
How was the keynote for the Spanish event?
Yeah, I was in the English
Oh, you in the
one,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, because you're bouncing through both.
A keynote, or I was either about to go on stage or there was a keynote speaker in the English, but I was just juggling between both floors.
Well, good problem to have when there's that much content around.
You got to go to convention, you guys.
Absolutely.
It's a life changer.
100%. Well, thanks for coming out,
Thank
Silvana.
you.
Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go to flconvention.com to get registered. We also got Ignite. I think it's ignitevents.com. That's in Phoenix at the Dream City Church, Pastor Matthew's father facility. You ever been there?
Nope.
It's an awesome facility. We did the year during COVID when we had the 7 conventions.
Oh, yes.
We had one there. It was and me, Sean, and a handful of people bounced to every event.
Every event.
That was an awesome one. Yep. I mean, they all were great, but it was a really cool facility. So, thanks again, guys. Thanks for checking us out. You know where to find us every week right here on True Talk. We'll see you next week.